Well, that's a lot windier than I expected for a July summer day. But I'm here in the mountain, ready to paint something. I skipped the whole getting here traveler intro, so I don't have to worry about that. So let's take a look at the mountain and enjoy the nature. I already have my toned canvas here, of course choosing a more vertical compositions for this rock face, and to not focus really on the light because it's changing like every 5 seconds and I just don't want to bother with that, honestly. My hands are not happy about the cold wind. Should have gotten gloves, but we're surviving. I think of getting rid of that bush here, it's just unnecessary. Let's block our rocks here. Kinda working with a limited palette, well, limited for my taste. I normally have like 10 colors, but today I will try something different. You know, I see a lot of people doing this very accurately. A lot of landscape artists do it, but I'm not color accurate or shape accurate or composition accurate, so I don't even bother with that, honestly. That's a lot of rocks. For painting landscapes and plein air stuff, before going out and actually doing it like this, I really hated painting landscapes. But one day I just went out. I didn't have a computer screen. I wasn't looking at my phone on how people were doing it and comparing myself. And it kind of clicked in. This is the first bigger ledge, then the down ledge, and this on the back, it's further back. I really want to push this for this painting specifically, and I want to kind of paint it keeping saturation here, and this mainly being blue, gray, with a little bit of green, of course. It will probably end up looking like a foggy day, but nothing wrong with that. I will start adding a little bit of that green, and let's see what colors I can make with my 2 blues. Not that many. Guess this will be a very desaturated painting. Also today I'm normally painting like a sculptor, like I sculpt the subjects, but today I want to be a little bit more abstract, a little bit more loose. I think that would help me with a little bit not being that self-conscious. For the air perspective, I'm just following the simple rule. Whatever further back, just add more white to it. It doesn't need to be any complicated than that. What does white do? It desaturates it and of course lightens it. Wow, that looks like a kid's drawing. Don't worry, I have a special plan. And we are starting with our special plan. Like I said, today we are gonna experiment a bit. Break out of the rules of plein air painting. Not focus on what people would really consider. I remember my art teacher hating when I was outlining parts of my drawings and paintings. So let's do that today. And you can say I didn't really get anywhere with art. I even found different hobbies, different passions. So much for one spiteful teacher. I really like the flow. Oh, the rocks, they're going up the mountain. Let's add a nice border around here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to think that I really don't know what to do with the shapes of those rocks. Guess they don't really look like rocks right now. I need to add a better color for them. This one is very angry rock. Very dark, very angry. Yeah, and that's the general style I want to try. Of course I would add stuff on top of it. I got my old trusty dagger brush here. I hope to make some rescues on those rocks. Could never get them the first time right. Or the second time. Or ever. Whatever. Who cares? I think I'm missing the cadmium yellow. I was used to mixing the color for those rocks. You may be thinking why did I spend the whole of 10 minutes making those lines just to cover them up. You know, to build something you need steps, you need progression. You can make it, you can't make it from the first try. I should have gotten gloves. Damn, it's July. Yeah, I'm aggressive brush mix on the brush type of artist. I don't use a palette knife, very uncomfortable. Let's see, let's just use one side and just make the highlights on those rocks on that side. Not accurate, but readable. At the end of the day, you're painting, not drawing. You see that path there? If someone at this weather, it's like 15 degrees, sees me doing that, they probably think, wow, what an Instagram influencer. Jesus. Definitely imaginative. I can tell you that. Accurate? No. Well, I was on to rock saving mission 3. It's getting better. Fixed a little bit. Not fixed, I mean unfixable. Worked on a little bit on the foreground rocks here, and I think after I play around with those rock hues, I will go back to the foreground and work on some contrast here. That wind is really not helping my hands. I mean, I won't get frostbite or freeze. It's just very uncomfortable and painful. to be fair. Again, I will try to add some highlights maybe next time I paint. I will get a second yellow, so I can use one yellow for the rocks, the other yellow for the grass, so they have a distinct shade to them. My paint palette is starting to dry up. Yeah, I think this is as far as I want to go with the background. Yeah, you heard that right. I am not going to paint. I'm not going to paint in sky. I'm not going to paint anything else in the background. I don't want to bother with that right now. I want to add some details in the foreground and call it a painting. The little bit left of the yellow ochre on my palette, just fill in the bold spots. Also, one tip: if you're changing in altitude, make sure at home to squeeze the paint out of the tube a little, because the white exploded on me earlier. I'm around 1800 meters here. Let's try to make a very bright green here. Not white, green. Again, on the foreground, I'm using more and heavier paint. Very dark green. Ooh, nice. We also use that dark green to outline our rocks, add some texture in the bushes. You can see why a dagger brush is very versatile. Basically, this one, like 5 years old, already a little bit stiff from dry acrylic paint and not cleaning the brush properly, but it's holding on. Yeah, this big rock here. Let's make the controversial outline. There you go. See how much that gave to the painting? Just that simple outline. And it's not like I don't have the skill to make a natural background and foreground separation, that's why I don't, I resort to extremes to fix my lack of actual talent. But yeah, I like it. Really tell because colors are already with muddy, but at least they're harmonized. Just straight how it comes from the tube. Way better. Gives it character. Just paint what you see, not what you know. Even though that was a lie. I haven't looked at the rocks from the past 20 minutes or so. Paint what you like, that's the most important. Not what you see, not what you think. Paint what you like to see. Okay, like the weather report said, the wind is gonna get worse. So I think of wrapping it up. It's not that easy deciding when to finish the painting because I have to hike back to civilization. Okay, at this point I have to stop looking at it, finish it, because I'm gonna start making new mistakes and then trying to fix those mistakes and then making again, and the holy spiral of perfectionism kicks in. Either way, I'm happy with the painting. My arms are definitely not happy with the painting process. It was very cold. That doesn't look like the cliff at all. It doesn't have a sky. It doesn't have the other part of the whole mountain. The foreground rocks are not that bright, but there you go. A painting without rules. Painting without thinking what people care. Painting. I wrapped my stuff in and I'm heading back. Oh, forgot one stuff. Let's not fall over. I think it looks good. Of course, not the best one out there, but I'm happy with it. My hands are still cold. This scarf here saved me, honestly, and also the headphones help with the wind. Of course, being here in this beautiful scenery, for 3 hours I saw one person. Even though this is a very popular hiking trail, guess not a lot of people decided to hike today, which is very good, but I also do want to go to my baked potatoes at home. Anyways, that was it.